So, welcome to the February coaching clinic. And today I want to talk about essential selfishness. Why all success and any success in any direction starts with taking care of you. Um, Bear with me because this one runs deep. I'm not talking about going to spas and defiantly telling our family members that no, we won't make the dinner because we're taking care of ourselves. That's not what we're talking about here. Today, we're going to look in the direction of what truly refuels us and why that's so important in terms of our business, especially those of us helping others, and just in relation to living a good life. Why it's so poignant that we begin to prioritize in this direction. But the things that I will share with you, again, they're not techniques. I'm not going to be adding to your to-do list. This is about going deep today in our understanding of how it all works. And one of the ways I invite each of us to get the best from any of these coaching clinics, and particularly today's, given that the whole topic is around taking care of you, um, is for us to just to open with a gentle meditation, a gentle visualization that I uh, will just guide us through. Okay? So just join with me as we close our eyes and breathe into this space. Whatever you've been doing up until this point, just set it aside now and let this clinic be a healing temple for you, where you get to come back to center, see truth, slow down the busy mind. Just begin to slow the breath as you follow that pattern of breathing in through the nose and out. In through the nose and out. Releasing any tension and feeling your body sink into the sofa or the chair. Some of you will be so exhausted that you might fall asleep during this clinic. Don't worry, that's okay. You'll get a replay. Try not to force yourself to effort through. Just coming back to this present moment, just feeling the weight of your body without judgment, exactly where you are. And visualize roots coming from your feet down through the ground, down into the underground, right down to that rock at the bottom of the earth. Wrap those roots around that rock. This rock emanates golden light, the light of our true nature. And see that light moving now from the rock up through the roots, through the underground, the ground, the floorboards, right up into the soles of your feet. Set intention now that this light would support you and heal any areas that are feeling uncomfortable or stuck energetically. See the light moving through the soles of the feet into the ankles, up into the legs, the front of the legs, the back of the legs, up into the kneecaps and the thighs, front and back, up into the hip bones, the buttocks and up into the spine, up through the front of the body, all of the torso, the light traveling up through the entire body and up through the back of the spine to the top of the head and through the front of the body, the neck, the face to the top of the head. The light meets each other. And see the light swishing down the left-hand side of the head, the shoulder, the upper arm, the elbow, the lower arm, and out through the left hand and fingertips, and down through the right side of the head, to the shoulder, to the right upper arm, elbow, lower arm, out through the right hand and the right fingertips, until your whole body is enveloped in this beautiful elixir of healing light. Receive it now. Let it take care of you. And if there's anyone in your life or anything in your life that's troubling you, any person that is needing help right now, now that you've received the light fully, you can send this elixir of light to any person or any situation you're worried about. Just see the light emanating from your heart center and traveling out towards that person's heart center or that situation. Trust that that all is receiving the light. And just know that this light supports you. Coming back to yourself now, seeing yourself covered in this gorgeous elixir of light, basking in it now. You can ask or consider what it's time to lighten up about. Where are you holding on too seriously or too tightly? And send the light to that. Feel your body relaxing as you get taken care of. And give yourself permission to really lighten up and let the light work on your behalf. See roots now coming from your feet down through the ground, down into the underground, right down to that rock at the bottom of the earth. Wrap those roots around that rock. Feel yourself centered. Notice any energetic shift. Celebrate the fact that you've given yourself this space to realign, to lighten up, to prioritize you. And when you feel ready, just gently come back into the space by moving your fingers, your toes, opening your eyes when you're ready. So, essential selfishness, the topic for this month. I first heard that term when I was offering some programs alongside Mavis Carn. And we went on to offer a program on that subject. And I loved the description. I loved essential selfishness because it is essential. It is essential that we begin to look in the direction of selfishness with a capital S. Selfish gets a bad rep, you see, as if it's a horrible thing and you're not a good girl or a good guy if you're too involved with yourself. Well, it strikes me that some of the healthiest and happiest people I know around me are really, really good at being essentially selfish. They don't have an issue saying no. They're not trying to please everyone. They're very attuned to the feeling of what's right in that moment. And so we want to really get good at that, attuning to the feeling in the moment when we're presented with an invitation, when we're presented with a demand of our time, or when we're presented with a situation. That might be with family, it might be with business, it might be with partner, children. And the times that you hear yourself say, can I really do that? Can I really say no to this? That's a really good indicator that yeah, it's time. You're on to something. Because we've just learned, we've just been in habits of thought, usually, and it doesn't matter anyway, but just usually taught to us by our own upbringing of how to go about life, how to go about life. But we go about life with habits of thought that aren't even our own. And a lot of that thinking tends to be about not letting other people down. or not appearing to be selfish or bad. There's a certain level of essential selfishness we all need to thrive. Today, I'd like for you to start to see it as a healthy, positive attribute within you rather than something that you need to feel guilty about. See, whatever your goal or desire or objective is right now in your life, and we all have something we're hoping to change or looking forward to a shift around. We want to be able to see the value of prioritizing what our desire and what we want. And so when things get presented to you that aren't really in alignment with any of that, that's where you want to be essentially selfish. That's where you want to learn to take care of you and your direction first. This subject came about this month because I began to notice that a lot of my clients were not respecting the outpour they were doing. What do I mean by that? Well, the outpour is wherever you're giving. So what I noticed was they were coaching other people, and then they were also attending to family, and then they were also picking up shopping for neighbors, and then they were also cooking dinner, and then they were also um, you know, tidying up. Like there was just so much outpour was going on. And they didn't see how that outpour, you know, they weren't respecting that. And then they were wondering why their minds were so busy. I think there's something about starting to respect that level of outpour we do on a day-to-day basis. And your ego is going to tell you you're not doing enough. So whatever Grace is talking about here, it's not relevant to you because you're just not doing enough. Well, ditch that. Ditch that habit of thought that you're not doing enough. What I came to see in my life was it takes a lot just to live. Never mind build a business on top of that, grow a family on top of that, hold a relationship on top of that, take care of your dog on top of that, keep your image a certain way on top of that, like cook your own meals, do your exercise. It takes a lot just to live. So there's a lot of outpour. So there's no kind of I'm not doing enough. That's just a learned habit of thought that keeps us away from respecting how much we're really doing and giving on any particular day. Now, it's true that when we're inspired by something, we've got lots of energy for it. That's true. We find reserves of energy for things that light us up. But we want to still see that even that's an outpour. Even though it's fun and enjoyable and we've got energy for it, it's still an outpour. And so when we look at taking care of us, the first place we want to look at is, well, what did I do today? Like, how, what outpour was I in? And you'll find that there was quite a lot, even if you're not drained by it. So taking care of you, allowing yourself to have some essential selfishness, begins really with taking care of your mind and your schedule. For some of you, you will have to look at your schedule and consider why you keep filling in every single gap. Why, when somebody cancels or a space gets opened up, you're suddenly rushing in to fill it with something else. For others of you, schedule might not be such a pressing matter. But certainly for all of us, taking care of our mind is the first place that we begin to really take care of ourselves. It's beautiful to see many of you here today doing that, taking care of your mind, settling down, giving space for you. But beyond this coaching clinic, you want to allow yourself to just catch when you're speeding up, when you're doing too much, when the dialogue in your head is all about not getting enough done or having to get more done. You want to begin to catch the innocent habits of thought you live in. And as you do, your mind begins to settle. Essential selfishness is not so much about swinging the pendulum from being available all the time for everything and everyone to then suddenly not ever being available at all, and putting your boundaries up. You don't need boundaries. You need to respect your yes or your no. You need to see that you are worth feeling good. You need to see that you deserve to live in a beautiful feeling. Nobody's taught us that. The world will not applaud us living in a quiet mind or a beautiful feeling. The world can't see that. The world will tend to applaud your busyness, how overstretched you are. This must mean you're really successful. But you and I know better, that we can only manage to hold success at a new level in our lives if we are fully taken care of from the inside. Many people can get to the top, and when they do, they burn out drastically because there's no grounding in the center. There's nothing holding them. It's not wrong, it's just that they didn't know. And for some of you, and just like me, partly that's been the journey. You get all the external success, but you feel depleted or something is missing. Well, what is that? It's that deep sense of peace and grounding that we can only feel as we look in the direction of some level of prioritizing taking care of you, taking care of your mind first. Animals are the only, or excuse me, humans are the only species to speed up when they get lost. If you look at animals in the wild, they stop still. They regain their bearings. We can learn from that. Why is it that we're unwilling to stop still when we feel frazzled? Why is it that we're unwilling to stop still and regain our bearings when we're feeling exhausted? Why is it that we're unwilling to leave gaps and space in our day between activities, on our calendar, between appointments, between festivities? It's just being in a learned habit. That's all. But taking care of you, taking care of your mind, is your essential selfishness. It's where it all begins. If that means that sometimes you just start your day listening to truth, as many of my clients here have and myself do, then you do that. If that means that you just leave space between your activities, you do that. But more than anything, you check in for when you're hearing yes or no, because the world will continue to put demands upon you. People will continue to make requests of you. A lot of us have set up even the expectation whereby others are expecting you to always be the way you were, totally available and helpful. But if you hear no, or you don't get a feeling of desire to do something when you are being asked to or requested to, just remember that saying no is your essential selfishness. Nobody's going to die because you say no. And even if they did, from what we understand of the death experience now, we know that that's not the worst thing that can happen to people. But you know what I'm saying here. Nobody's gonna fall apart. It's really important that you get attuned to the feeling of yes and the feeling of no, and that you trust your guidance on that. That is essential selfishness. It's important you give yourself space in your day, in your week. It's important that you don't run from activity to activity to activity to activity, one appointment to the next. It's important that you take care of your mind the best way you know how. What is it that you know settles you down internally? What slows the fan belt of worried thinking? Do more of that. There's a ritual in Italy, and I'll stop in a second, but there's a ritual in Italy called aperitivo. And it's the art of opening the appetite before dinner. What does that mean? Well, what I've come to see is that it's really the culture's way of people transitioning from their work day to their evening by just engaging a ritual. They sit down, maybe in with friends, maybe with colleagues, maybe on their own. They sit down, they enjoy their aperitivo, which might be a sweet drink or a alcoholic drink or a piece of food or a whatever. It's a ritual whereby, they're marking an end to the day. We can all have a ritual of some form. One of my favorite rituals is like after lunch and before I start my coaching clients, I will do 20 minutes of meditation. Sometimes I'll fall asleep because my mind is overly active, but I don't care. It's a ritual, it's a transition into my workday, away from the morning's activities and the cooking of lunch or the eating of lunch and the tidying up. And it's a ritual, it's a movement towards getting still before giving of service. There's likely a ritual in your life that could be implemented or experienced that could help, that could support you. See it as an essential selfishness, that you would do that for yourself, that you would allow that space. It could be pleasure focused, like the aperitivo. It could be mind focused, like the meditation or listening to truth. Doesn't matter. No one cares. What's important is that we begin to respect the level of outpour we actually do in a day, rather than respect the judgmental thinking in our mind that continues to argue about how we're not doing enough and we're not far enough along and we should have got there by now and we still haven't done that by now. So I'll stop there. I feel like I've set the table um, as best I can on this subject. And what will really make this subject come to life is, you know, are your questions or how I can make this relevant to your life. What is it that you need from coaching clinic today? So I just invite you to come on and be open to some coaching or some feedback or some direction, or anything you might want to share, anything that you've seen that you want to share that's helped you in this direction. Claire, thank you. Yeah, come on.
Yeah, it's very interesting that you're talking about this today because I've just come off a live on Insight Timer and I ended up calling it intuitive balance
Hmm.
because I always say I said this before, like work-life balance can seem like some kind of boxing ring scenario where balance is in the one corner, where work is in the one corner and
Yeah.
life is in the other corner and they're kind of battling it out in the middle in order to kind of who's going to win today kind of thing. But and it can also balance can often seem like routines and rituals and things that you have to do. Um, Whereas intuitive balance for me feels like just navigating that moment by tuning in, which is, as I was burning out, that tuning in process was gone. I mean, it was gone. I couldn't hear, even though my body was screaming and banging a drum and carrying on at me. I couldn't hear any of it. And I do more hear it now, and particularly over the last few weeks when I've been guided repeatedly to rest and and not do as much. And I managed a little walk today, which was, they did say I could walk short distances on this boot, and it started to feel better. There's been less pain, so I've been able to walk a bit and get a bit more active again. But just letting that unfold
Yeah.
moment by moment through periods when clearly my body has needed more rest. But I said on my live today, I said, how many times do we not even go for a flipping wee? Like we really need a wee, and I'll just finish this. I'll just get this. We can't even sometimes be selfish enough to get. I know I'm not the only one. To
Mhm.
go to the loo when we need to go to the loo, we'll just like stay there and carry on. Like, oh, I'll just finish this and then I'll go to the loo. When you really need to go, it's crazy how we can so easily tune out.
Yeah.
Just the guidance to rest, the guidance to wee, the guidance to eat something, to drink something, to look
Yeah.
after ourselves. And then I have this little post-it note thing that I shared, which is, every time you say you do that, on the other side of that, you're seeing that. So you say yes. Every time you say yes to somebody, on the other side is the word no. So you're looking at no. Everybody else looking at yes. And you're looking at no all the time, which is, somebody showed me that. It wasn't a three principles talk. It was on a networking about something ages ago. And I thought that was really
Yeah.
powerful that we just say yes all the time. We forget that on the back of that, we're saying no to ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I definitely, this is a direction that I'm just being, yeah, nudged in, not just by you, but it's just, yeah, my whole life seems to be going in this direction
Yeah.
massively now. Thank God. Don't need to burn out again, really.
Well, I love that, Claire. That's your form. You see, your wisdom brings you your form of essential selfishness. Your wisdom brings you intuitive balance. You get it. You get what's being shared, right? You're seeing really clearly what feels right. And there is an innocence to when we tune out, as you have described when you had burnout, where we kind of our knowing, override our knowing. And that's why the body is such a magnificent machine, because when we override our knowing, we get physical feedback. We get like that. Burnout is not a shameful thing. It's really a wake up call to, you know, to listening more deeply. That's another way I'd like to describe essential selfishness is listening. You heard me mention tuning in, listening more deeply to your knowing in the moment. And so we've just learned to override our knowing or argue with wisdom. And then when we do that enough, we get physical symptoms, just alarm bells and love invitations, to just begin to pay attention. And so, when we've grown up with all these learned habits of thought, especially about what's good and what's bad, what does a good girl do? She doesn't say no, right? What are you supposed to do? Then innocently we're operating from all these learned ideas. instead of operating from our truth. Like even it's even an idea that selfish is bad. It's like, who made that up? But because we've bought into that idea or belief, um, and lived around that, um, we've overridden our no a lot of the times. So this is great, you know. I love what you're seeing. I love the journey that you're able to go on and then therefore be of service to others with that journey as you're refueled, you know. I think one of the things that you hear me talk about a lot is being energetically open for clients. And see, in this business, you have to have a level of essential selfishness. Everyone else can go to a job. It doesn't matter how they feel, they're going to get paid at the end of the month. Our work as coaches, as teachers, as healers is is really about us being fueled to be able to give to others. And our paycheck tends to flow when we are. We we have to care how we feel. We have to be interested in how we feel. And we want to pay attention to that. Because if we're feeling super depleted, exhausted, and our minds are really busy, that is not the time to launch a new program. That is not the time to take on 10 clients, although I would be surprised if anyone was receiving new clients from that state of mind. So you never have to feel guilty about fueling up on you because it's really the work that you got to do if you're going to write that book easily and effortlessly and let the divine work through you. If you're going to run a program or have more people in your business, this should be good news. That is the kind of only the kind of work that we have to do, whilst others have to work really, really, really hard to get to the end of the month on the same paycheck every month, usually, right? So just keep that in mind that this essential selfishness is for the highest good of all. And it's a journey. I'm still learning. I'm still catching myself when I've known it was a no and I went ahead anyway and then was depleted as a result. You know, our habits, this one thing else I've seen, and I want to come on to Laura now. Our habits are a really good indicator of when we're overriding our no. You will find that you need to engage your habit more and more and more. Whatever it is, more, we all have something, but whatever yours is, more chocolate, more spending, more alcohol, more scrolling, more whatever. You will find that when you're overriding your no, when you're not allowing yourself essential selfishness, that you start engaging your habit more. And then innocently you'll say things like, oh, I just need to go on a diet, I need to control myself, or I need to do X, Y, or Z. It's like, no, our habits are a form of wisdom. They're showing us where we are needing to fuel up more and more and more, or needing to let go, release more and more and more. So habits can be helpful to look at and just notice without judgment. Am I needing to do more of that lately? Am I doing more of that lately? And if you are, just innocently, am I overriding my no? Am I giving so much to everyone else that there's nothing left for me? Am I not respecting my outpour? That's all. Laura, I'd love to hear from you. I see some
Hi.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good. Doing good. I mean, as you know, I think I don't work anymore since last April. And I am hooked up with like some programs, three principles, whatever, and all this. And here is my situation. I feel like I'm missing out if I don't go on it, if I don't listen, if I don't do it. I really did get overwhelmed,
Mm,
like in January for a few weeks because it was too much. And
yeah.
I knew it. I even had a conversation in my head. I really don't want to be in that program. But here's the
Mm,
thing. I get something out of it. It's good. And, you know, I loved it last summer. There was a period where I was just doing things I wanted to do.
mm.
Whether it was just sitting silently or a page of a poem or I don't know how to describe it, but um, I feel like the program's like not what I want that day or what I don't need that day. I don't. So I guess that's what I'm trying to say is I feel like I'm missing out then if I don't. I'm not a coach, but but this is the other dilemma. I'm missing out then. So what do I do?
Well, you see, you're not seeing that that's a made up idea. It's not a truth. That's a made up, that's a learned thought. I'm missing out. That's an idea that's been made up that you don't see as a fleeting thought. If you switched it to Chinese, you wouldn't know what it said and you'd just go about your day regardless. You see? Like FOMO, and I so get it, Laura, because I suffer from that. Friends had just invited me to travel with them, and I just really feel like I want to keep my feet on the ground and just be in the energy of spaciousness. But I had all this FOMO. Oh, but I should go because they're there now and they're not going to be there for another year. And if I don't go now, and oh my God, I'm going to miss all that Chanel or whatever it is that they were, offering. I'm going to miss it all. And then I just noticed, oh, look at everything you're making up about that trip, Grace. When actually your knowing is that you don't want to go. No matter how great an idea it appears and how exciting it would be. See, we do that, Laura. It's just innocent. We have a lot of thinking and we get into bed with it and we think because we think it's real. But 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 at some point we want to get more interested in the feeling, not the thinking. And if the feeling is, I don't want to do that, or the feeling of something else is more engaging to you that day, you want to be following the feeling, not thinking, because thinking's full of beliefs and thoughts and made up ideas. Are you hearing anything in this?
Yes. Yes. It's funny. I don't know why. I mean, I could almost cry because my time is precious.
Mm,
Everybody's is. Time is, I just feel like that's, so important.
mm.
Um, yeah, I do hear what you're saying. I made it up. And would I be okay without that program that I don't really even need? That's the question. I just have to be at peace about that. Like maybe I don't need that. I'll be okay without it.
That's what I was going to ask you next, actually. What do you think you're missing out if you don't do all those programs? What do you think
I,
you're not
I
going to
hate
have?
I hate to admit it. I'm obsessed. Obsessed. I even saw myself, looked at myself like the other day. I was like, oh my gosh, stop. Stop looking. Stop searching. It feels good. It feels good. Maybe I am avoiding something, feelings or afraid um, of sitting quietly with myself or I'm not sure.
Well, so my question is, what do you think you wouldn't have if you didn't do these programs?
Mm, again, I mean, I hope I'm not the only person in the world who
Not at
thinks this way.
all.
Um, Knowing how to navigate life, how to live life.
Okay. Okay. So you see, that insecure thought is driving your behavior. It's driving your habit of purchasing programs. But if you switched it to Chinese, you wouldn't know what it was saying. It's so innocent, Laura. You have everything you need. You've already navigated everything perfectly with or without any programs because it's built into the system to know how to do life. Now, you can engage programs for the enjoyment, you can engage programs for the learning. A lot of my clients love to learn, right? It's a really high value for them. That's different. That's not something's missing. That's enjoyment, you see? So you're just going to keep catching that little insecure thought there. You're just going to catch yourself. Oh, there I go with that idea that I'm not going to be able to navigate life, or oh, there I go with that idea that I'm going to miss out. Are you realizing something there for yourself?
Yeah. I mean, part of the tears might be, with my mom dying in October. And it's different. Of course, all of our lives, and then the last 7 years, and especially the last years and the last months, we were busy with that.
Yeah,
And so things are new in my life anyway, with not working and stuff. And so maybe trying to find it, maybe, trying to find what's good for me. Um, I mean, I'll just say this out loud. Um, I really want to take care of me more. Like I need to
yeah,
walk, I need to exercise, and I'm sitting in a program that I'm sitting and I don't really care about. I'm
right.
just frustrating myself.
Well, just trust your guidance. We don't need to beat up on ourselves about why we're not doing it or why we're still sitting here listening to a program. Just honor, respect the guidance you're receiving. Oh, I want to take better care of me. Sometimes being in that program might be a form of that. But if you're noticing that, oh, I want to walk more, do that. Like a lot of times, the insights we need come to us as we're living our life, not as we're engaging the program. Okay. But we all know, here's the thing, Laura, we all know, we can all trust, and we all know when we've had enough. Enough food, enough exercise, enough sleep, enough talk, enough company. We all know when we've had enough. And you want to just trust that, you see. But for an insecure thought about not knowing how to navigate life, you'd just be out there walking. You probably wouldn't even be sitting on this coaching clinic. You know, like you'd just be taking care of you. You'd be doing your form of essential selfishness without having to hear my sharing about it. You see? But I know partly you're here to help your mind quiet and to just confirm your own guidance, right? So go ahead.
I lost my thought. I think I was, I lost my thought, but the balance, and
Yeah.
taking care of myself. Everything you talked about was very helpful.
Good. I'm glad it resonates. And now guess what? You find your way to do that that works for you, and it's totally perfect and right. You
Yeah.
see?
I feel like you just gave me permission and I have like this freedom, like, yay, I can go do anything I want.
Well, it's true. It's true. Follow that feeling.
Yes, yes.
We
Well,
don't want to
I
hear
feel like I had it all in me. I had it all in me already, but you
that.
helped bring it out. Thank you.
That's right. You always have it in you. We all always have it in us to handle anything in life, to rise to the occasion. And we also have this incredible guidance that you're beautifully displaying, Laura. Guidance that tells us, oh, I just want to take care of me. Oh, I just want to go for a walk. Oh, I just don't want to sit in this so much anymore. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
I know there's like just a minute left. And I just want to have a look at the comments here. Oh, Dorothy, yeah. Can you speak more about letting the divine work through you? Dorothy, yeah, I speak about that a lot of the time. Here's my recommendation, since there isn't much time right now. Um, check out my YouTube channel where you've got lots of videos available that mostly point to the divine working through us. Okay. Um, aside from that, consider what you see about the divine working through you, Dorothy. What do you see about that? Write me an email if you want to. What does Dorothy see about the divine working through her? Because me talking about how I see it working is my personal perspective. But what matters is how you see it. What's your experience of the divine working through you? And if you really desire to take it further, as I said, the YouTube channel, I have lots of um, lovely videos over there. It's on YouTube, it's Graceful Coaching. And I speak a lot about that. Okay, so thanks, Dorothy. Thank you to everyone. Thank you so much for showing up today. It's great to be reconnected here on the coaching clinic and just be part of this with you. And yeah, I just feel like we have a lovely connection. Um, and just to let you know, there is a free webinar I'm doing next week, Tuesday, the 10th of March, with my colleague Dominic Scafidi. And we're going to talk about inspired action, a way to be in action in the world that feels effortless. So if that interests you, I'd love to see you there as well. Um, and the next coaching clinic will be the first Tuesday of February, which I believe is the 3rd. I think it's the 3rd of February, of March, the first Tuesday in March. So that'll be the 3rd of March. Look forward to being with you then, everybody, and sending you lots of love. Take care. Bye bye.